Hello everybody, this is the story, The Buchanan Kidnapping from the Henderson Kids. If you all remember that show, it was pretty, horrific. After Brains left the Henderson Kids to pursue a life of pro skateboarding, he left with some evil bikies who hate children as they can be, known as the Bike Witches, and Brains, who thought was being driven to the skating comp, suddenly found himself locked in a room being forced to sit up like an adult, and he was only 14, but he lost his child look because he was tied to a metal pole from a children's swing set. Brains yelled out the words, "Help!" and no one could hear him, but Brains was kidnapped. He thought he was the 80s. You don't kidnap young skateboarders in the 80s, and when the duct tape was put on his mouth, he struggled a bit. Brains knew he was doomed, so he didn't struggle. And anything, Brains' parents were rang by his captor demanding a $13 million ransom if they want to see their little kidnapper free. But this kidnapper is best known for going back on his word, and then that meant Brains could be killed at any moment. And he tried to scream, and his parents came with the first payment, but he was kidnapped finally, and Brains had to realize that this is the end. His parents heard their son, which meant that they will hear from their son again, so they must not try any funny stuff, because having their boy back is better than losing him this way. So Brains really was scared, but his parents were scared too. In 3 days, the second ransom demand was being processed, and the parents were 15 minutes late when they arrived. Brains was hung by the neck, and the rope was tightly around his neck, but Brains thought he was going to die tonight. But his parents said, "Let our son go! Just leave him alone, and we'll call the police." Where there was one problem there. Brains' parents left, but they kept on getting letters in the mail threatening to kill Brains and also coming after them. And the parents paid the next ransom 3 weeks early so he doesn't kill his son. The kidnappers were happy and they refrained from killing Brains, but they still are going to kidnap him if they don't make future payments. And Brains was scared, and yes, his parents were encouraged to call the police, and they did. And the police hanged down the door, and the kidnapper came in and tried to stop them, taking Brains away. So they shot at Brains, and it got him in the heart, but he didn't die. And life-saving heart transplant was his only call, and Brains was free, and the kidnapper was behind bars for a long time. The end. And that was a fantastic story, and I hope you see more of that in the future. Catch you later.